That's you live.
Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to the Animal Care Open event this afternoon. My name is Stephen Kings. I'm the HNC course tutor here at the SRUC Barony campus, and I'm going to take you through an overview of the courses that we have on offer here. I'd also like to introduce you to Ewan. If you'd like to introduce yourself, Ewan's joining us as well this afternoon.
Hi everyone, my name's Ewan Douglas. I am one of the animal care instructors based down in the Practical Animal Care unit. So what I'll do, once Stephen's given you a bit of an overview of all the courses, I'll run you through a very quick virtual tour of our animal care facilities, which if you want to study any of the animal care courses, you will get access to when you start at the college. But I'll do that once Stephen's gone through a bit of an overview of all the courses and what we do.
Okay, that's great. Thanks, Ewan. Okay, so thanks for joining us this afternoon, everybody. So the purpose of this event is to give you an introduction to the courses that we have on offer. Ordinarily at the open events, you get the opportunity to meet staff. Obviously, it's a little bit different because we're doing this online, but we are going to, as Ewan says, give you a virtual tour of the animal centre. And there will be opportunities for you to ask questions, so you can pop those into the chat box throughout the presentation, and we'll pick those up at the end, and we'll do our best to answer those for you. So first of all, I just want to say a little bit generally about the courses that we offer in animal care. The first thing to say is that across all the courses, we offer a range of teaching and learning delivery. So when you come onto these courses, you'll attend lectures, but there'll be a mix of practical work for you to do. There'll be some time where you'll be working in the lab, doing some lab work, particularly on the science related modules. And in between lessons and practical work, we'll be keeping you busy by giving you activities to do. So we'll be directing you using our virtual learning environment. We use Moodle, and so we will direct you to some additional extracurricular activities that are going to help you prepare for lessons and prepare for assessments. We also still continue to use a blended approach in terms of the delivery, although it's fair to say that on most of the courses now, most of the lessons are delivered in a face-to-face environment, which is really beneficial for students. There may be one or two lessons that are still delivered online. So, for example, on some of the courses this year, there's one day that's devoted to doing some online delivery, but the rest of it is face-to-face. Across all the courses, we also encourage you to take responsibility for your own learning. The courses can be quite demanding. There's lots of assessment work to do. There's lots of modules to study. So when you get your teeth into those, there'll be lots of activities for you to do. So we encourage you to sort of plan in advance and just manage your own time so that you can keep up to date with all of the work that is requested of you. So generally speaking, we use a range of teaching and learning methods really to suit the different needs of our students. As well as teaching and learning, there are assessments to do, and again, there's a mix of different types of methods that we use across the courses. The assessments are SQA based. SQA is the Scottish Qualification Authority, and so all of the courses that we do in animal care are SQA qualifications. There's a mix of theory and practical based assessments for you to do, and even amongst the theory based assessments, there's a mix of closed book and open book assessments. So the closed book assessments are set up in an exam style fashion, whereas the open book assessments are a real mix. Sometimes you might have a quiz set up with a series of short answers to do, which is timed, and that's on our virtual learning environment. Other times you might be given a research task to investigate, where you're given maybe a month to go and explore the information that's available and produce a report or an essay. So there's a real mix of assessments. Sometimes these are referred to as reports or assignments as well. And when you do your practical work, you'll attend a series of sessions, and then that will be followed by doing some practical assessments. And the tutors use a range of observation checklists to do that with you. So to help you prepare for the assessments, we will be signposting you to the kinds of activities and resources that you need to be looking at, just to give you the best chance of success on the programs. We offer a wide range of support while you're on your program. So we have a team that provides academic and pastoral support. So the academic support would include any particular academic requirements that you might need that's going to assist you and remove any barriers that you might have. So for example, we can provide a reader or a scribe for when you're doing your closed book assessments. Some students may be given extra time. So if you feel before you start the courses, if you feel that you would be entitled to some academic support, then that's something that you really should let us know as early as possible, so that we can assess what your needs are and again give you the best chance of success there. Of course, when students start the program, we understand that sometimes life gets in the way. Students experience all sorts of circumstances while they're on the program. And sometimes you'll be in a position where you might need maybe a shoulder to cry on, or just somebody to talk to. So we have a pastoral support team as well in place, a team of people who are well trained to deal with a wide range of sort of personal circumstances. So both the academic and the pastoral support team work together, and they work really closely alongside the animal care team as well. So we have a really close relationship. So if you're working with anybody in that department, they'll be liaising with us. And every course has a course tutor. And throughout the time on the program, you'll have one-to-one tutorial support sessions where the tutor will monitor your progress, check how you're engaging with the course, how well you're coping on the course, and you can talk about your career aspirations, and they will be able to give you advice and guidance on what the career steps are that are available to you. So you'll be able to have those discussions with your tutor throughout the year. In addition to that, in the last couple of years, we've also set up peer support groups. In animal care, we have a paw support group. I think it's called Lend a Paw, where animal care students are supporting each other. So they can provide a wide range of different types of support, helping them prepare for assessments, helping them with study skills, maybe, for example, maybe developing your research skills, developing your time management. It's usually led by animal care students who have been there and done it, and they kind of know what to expect, and they can help you prepare for upcoming assessments and upcoming study requirements that you have. In addition to that, we also have a careers advisor at the college who you can arrange one-to-one support with if you've got questions or queries about possible career routes. So that support is also in place for you. Although the course tutors and the courses themselves will also direct you to career opportunities, and they might become known to you as you progress through your course. So a wide range of support is available for students on our programs. In addition to that, the campus also offers a range of non-curricular activities outside of lessons, just to make life at the Barony much more fun. A lot of these events are organised through SRUC, the Student Association at SRUC. So, for example, in the past, they've organised film and quiz nights, Kayleys and dinners. And in addition to that, I'll speak in a moment about field trips that we've been running in the last couple of years in animal care. We'll also arrange for guest speakers on our programs where appropriate. So people who are experts in their field, maybe doing the job, they will come in and talk to students about the work that they're doing, and that helps to contextualize some of the theory that you'll be learning about. There's also an on-site gym and sports hall, an on-site bar and common room as well. So 2 areas that you can go to relax in when you're not studying. And when you are studying, we've got a fantastic library facility and a computer room. The library is really good because it gives you a wide range of animal care books and journals that you wouldn't normally have access to outside of the campus. So one of the advantages as a student at SRUC is that you don't have to pay for access to those resources, and they're going to help you enormously with your studies on your program. So I mentioned field trips a moment ago. So these are some images taken from the GAP Africa trip that the HNC students and the vet nursing students attended towards the end of last year. So we have a range of different types of trips on offer to our students. Not just animal care students, but conservation, countryside management students, equine students, vet nursing students all attend these courses. They run for about a couple of weeks. GAP Africa is quite a well-established trip, but there may be opportunities, for example, to go to other countries such as Ecuador and Costa Rica and Mexico. I think there are trips to all of those countries being planned for this year. So that might be quite an exciting opportunity. In fact, well, it's a wonderful opportunity for students to go to Africa and study animals that you wouldn't ordinarily come across. But you'll be working with scientists in the field and getting an understanding about the nature of the work that goes on in a completely different ecosystem and a completely different setting. Okay, so that's a little bit of a blurb as an introduction to animal care. So I'd now like to move on to talk about the courses. So the first course is an online course or a distance learning course, and it's called the Principles of Animal Care. And this course can be done as a precursor to coming onto any of the animal care courses at the college. You can do this course or parts of the course while you're still at school, or if you're working in the workplace, or you're looking for a change in career, but you want an introduction to the world of animal care, then you can actually either do this course as a whole, or you can select certain units that you might be interested in. And on this next slide here, we've got a list of all of the units that are available. So you can pick and choose. It's a bit like a pick and mix to be able to do some of these units. Some of them are a bit more practical based, such as feeding and watering and understanding small animal accommodation. Some may be a bit more theory based, such as the healthcare of small animals and animal anatomy, but it's designed to give you an introduction to the topics that you'll learn about when you come on to do the face-to-face programs. So in terms of how much the units cost to do, it costs about £80. So if you were interested in doing the principles in animal care, that cost includes access to all of the materials, as well as the tutor support that you get and the feedback that you receive in relation to the assessments that you do on that program. You can contact us to discuss an appropriate purchase plan if this is something that you would like to do. The way that the course is set up, it enables you to make the progress that suits you. You can do it at your own pace. And you can also contact us for advice about a fee waiver as well. Obviously, that will depend very much on your circumstances, but you may qualify for that. So if you're not sure about that, maybe that's something that you could ask us. If this is a course that you're interested in, we have a slightly different method of application. So you can go online to the website there, www.sruc.ac.uk/study, to find out more about the course and apply for it. But if you've got any particular inquiries, any questions, then please contact that email address, animaldistance@sruc.ac.uk. So any inquiries about the principles of animal care course, please use that email address. So now I'd like to go on and talk about our sort of face-to-face courses that we run. So the first one is our National Certificate in Animal Care, which is abbreviated to NC AAC. So the level of this course in the Scottish qualification framework is at level 5, and it's a 1-year course. And if you're thinking of applying for this course, we are looking for candidates who have a minimum of 3 National 4 qualifications. And ideally, we are looking for qualifications at that level in English and maths, because that will give you the best chance of success on a science-related program. And we also look for 1 National 5 qualification achieved at a C grade. And again, ideally, we look for a science. It's better if it's biology, but we always look at applications holistically. So you might also demonstrate work experience in the field. Every applicant's experience and situation will be different. So we look at every application on an individual basis, but that's a general guide for what we look for. In addition to that, if you have completed some of the modules on the principles of animal care course that I've just talked about, then we'd also be considering you that as an entry requirement too. So the NC course, the National Certificate, is there's a lot of practical based modules and a lot of practical work to complete on this on this course, and this is why it's one of our popular courses. There's a wide range of subjects that are covered, and as well as the practical experience, you will attend some theory lessons as well, and the theory lessons will be linked to your practical so that you can see how they're joined up. You can see the links between theory and practical, and when you're doing your practical work, it will make sense as to why you're doing the nature of the work in the way that you're doing it, by studying the theory alongside that. And I think there's a slide here. Here we go with the content. So this slide shows you the types of modules, the topics that you're going to cover on the NC, and you can see that there's a wide range of different types of animals. So there's an equine care unit on there, so you get the chance to work with the horses. You get to work with the farm livestock on site as well. We have modules that relate to birds, which is the avian unit, but also reptiles and fish. And we keep all of these animals in the ACTC, which you'll see shortly when Ewan takes you through the virtual tour. Alongside the practical based modules, there's the theory as well. So you've got very theoretical modules such as anatomy and physiology and animal survival behavior. And these modules are embedded into this course so that it helps prepare you for the next steps, because many of you doing this course will be thinking about progressing onto the next level, going on to the HNC, which I'll talk about in a moment. In fact, we'll talk about it now as it's come up. So the HNC, this stands for the Higher National Certificate in Animal Care, and it's a natural progression from the NC that I've just mentioned. But it is at level 7, which is 2 levels up from the NC. So there's a little bit of a jump there. Like the NC, it's a one-year course. and it will enable you to continue to develop your practical skills alongside your theoretical knowledge. And the way in which the course is written by SQA, it provides you with a foundation of knowledge that you need no matter which sector in the animal care industry you want to work in. And I'll explain a little bit more about that when I show you the modules in a minute. But again, we have a nice mix of delivery methods. So we have a series of lectures that you'll attend. They'll be supported by practical sessions, maybe not as much practical as there is at the NC level, but you'll have practicals in the animal unit. You'll primarily be working with the small animals when you're on the HNC. You'll get very few opportunities working with the large animals. And we also invite guest speakers to come in. We'll have field trips, and you'll also be asked to, of course, do some independent research from time to time to support your learning along on the course. So we continue to use that blended approach with the delivery. But like I say, most of the sessions on this course are face-to-face. So for example, this year, the way that we've run the HNC, 2 days a week are face-to-face theory sessions. There's one study day, there's one online lesson day, and then the final day is an all day in the ACTC where you're doing your practical work. So it's a nice mix throughout the week. So you won't always be doing the same thing from one day to the next. In terms of what we're looking for to get onto this course, we're looking for 2 hires at grade C. And we ideally look for biology, maths or English, simply because they are going to give you the best chance of success on the HNC. As I'm sure you can appreciate, there's quite a lot of biology related subjects. Within those subjects, there's some maths. You might have to calculate the dietary requirements for an animal, for example. And of course, English is a key part of being able to communicate your ideas and your research findings and things like that across the modules. If you have successfully completed the NC in animal care, then that would also be a direct entry onto the HNC. So this next slide provides you with a list of some of the modules that are taught on the HNC, and some of the modules are similar to what I showed you on the NC course. So they'll be building up your knowledge on animal behavior, animal health, nutrition, husbandry, how you handle the animals and first aid that you would give them. So there's a real building up of what you would have done before in the NC. But all of these topics, behavior, welfare, anatomy and physiology, health and disease, nutrition, these are all core modules that you would expect to study on an animal care course. So when I said earlier that the HNC is going to give you that foundation of knowledge, this is what I'm talking about. You would need to have all of this knowledge, no matter which sector you decide to go and work in once you finish your qualifications. So whether you wanted to work in a zoo environment, whether you wanted to work in a veterinary practice or on a farm or in a kennel environment, you need to have knowledge of all of these subject areas. In addition to those topics, we've also introduced 2 modules listed at the bottom there, research skills, which is designed to support you with your academic skills. So your HNC is kind of like your first step into academia, where you'd be expected to carry out research. You'll be spending time investigating a particular topic and reporting on that. And the further you progress through your studies, after you've done your HNC, you might go on and do a degree program. There'll be a greater expectation for you to develop your research skills. So again, that's in there as a foundation to help you with that. And we also have career planning. Career planning is a nice module because we give you the opportunity to explore different possible career routes that are available to you to go and work in the animal care sector. You might start the course and only think of perhaps only 1 or 2 job opportunities because they're commonly advertised. But actually, what we can share with you is that there are plenty of opportunities in the animal care industry, different routes that you might not have thought of. And in this module, we help you to develop your CV, your cover letters, how to write application forms, how to write personal statements for UCAS and things like that. So we give you lots of useful tips and advice just to help you prepare for getting the job of your dreams, whether that's at the end of your qualification or at some point in the future. Okay, so that leads us on now to the HND, and the HND stands for the Higher National Diploma in Animal Care. Now, the HND course is a 2-year course. So if you have done the HNC first, then you will have done the first year of the HND. It can be a little bit confusing because you can apply to do the HNC as a 1-year qualification in its own right. But you could, if you're thinking that you might want to commit to doing the HND, then you could apply to do the HND in its own right, which is a 2-year course. But when you start the HND, you will effectively be doing the HNC in your first year, and then you'll progress into your second year. Now, the first year is at level 7, we've just for the HNC, and the second year is at level 8. So again, when you make that progression from the first year to the second year, you'll notice that difference moving from level 7 to level 8. The entry requirements are exactly the same as they are for the HNC. We'd be looking for 2 Scottish Highers or the equivalent of 2 Scottish Highers, ideally at grade C in biology, maths or English, or the successful completion of the NC Animal Care. It is important to say that you have to have completed all of the HNC units successfully to be able to progress into year 2. Okay, so it's important to be able to pass all of those modules that you do in your first year. But the way that this course has been written and produced is that it's designed to prepare you for going in at management level, working in the animal care industry. Now, you might not be thinking of going in at management level, but a lot of the modules that are on offer in this course are designed. They've been written with that in mind. But on this next slide, you can see a list of the modules, and there's quite a wide range of modules. So we have students who might be interested in animal behavior and animal training, then are going to enjoy the dog training module and the applied animal behavior module, because those 2 modules are taught together, where you learn about the ways in which animals learn and the best methods and approaches for training animals for different purposes. But then we also have scientific based modules as well, such as DNA and genetics, where you learn about modern techniques such as PCR, which is involved in disease diagnosis. And then, of course, we've got parasitology, where you'll learn about different types of parasites that can affect animals. We've also got a new module called Animal Collections, where you'll learn about different types of collections, such as zoos and aquaria. Education establishments, like the one at SRUC, is a type of animal collection. So you'll learn about how they are managed, what their principles and objectives are, and those sorts of things. So that's an example of a sort of one of those modules that's designed to help you if you want to go in at management level when you complete your qualifications. One of the attractive things about the HND course is that in the last year or so, we've been offering the 3 different options, so students can pick and choose which stream that they would like to do based on their career aspirations. So, for example, if you are interested in setting up your own business, and we have had students in the past who have done exactly that. They may have set up their own dog grooming business or pet sitting business. So if that is something that you might be interested in and you're thinking about progressing on to do a business management degree, then the business stream would be the option for you. If you're thinking that you've really enjoyed the science-based modules and you maybe picture yourself working in the science industry, then maybe the science stream is for you. Microbiology, and we have a statistics module that will help students prepare for working in the field of science. Or if you would like, maybe you've gone to on the Africa trip, or maybe you like the idea of working in a zoo and the field of conservation, wildlife conservation, or wildlife rehabilitation, then the wildlife stream might be for you. So that might be the third possibility that you consider. So these streams are available to you to choose when you come to the end of your HNC, something to think about before you progress into HND, based on what your career aspirations might be. Okay, just a word on progression routes, just to clarify. If you have successfully completed our courses, then that would enable you to progress up to the next level. So, for example, successful completion of the NC would allow you to progress up to the HNC course. And equally, if you've achieved the HNC, then you could progress either to the HND, or you might choose to progress onto one of the degree programs, whether that's at SRUC or beyond. There is the possibility of progression onto vet nursing. We do get a lot of students that are interested in that as a potential route, but it's not guaranteed because the vet nursing team do not necessarily look at the HNC as a specific requirement to enable you to get onto that degree program. So just bear that in mind. They're looking for a wider set of qualifications and experience that you have. But if you don't necessarily want to continue progressing in animal care or vet nursing, then you might consider going into agriculture. We have HNCs and HNDs in agriculture, and we also have qualifications in horse care. We have NC and HNC in horse care as well. Or you might decide, do you know what, I've had enough study. What I'd like to do is go and earn some money, and I'd like to go and get a job and go and work in the animal care industry. So there's lots of different types of opportunities and progression routes available to you by the time you've come to the end of studying one of the qualifications with us. In terms of if you're thinking about applying for one of these qualifications, if you are interested in doing the NC animal care, then the best way to apply is through the SRUC website. However, if you would like to apply for one of the higher national qualifications, the HNC or the HND, then you will need to apply through UCAS. And the UCAS window closes usually in January, either the middle to the end of January. So look out for that. So depending on which course you're interested in, will determine which method of application you use. Okay, now I think at this point, I'm going to hand you over to Ewan, who is going to take you on a virtual tour of the animal unit. And then I think after that, there'll be time for questions.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Stephen. Bear with me, guys. I'm just going to pop my screen on and we will have a little look at our animal care unit. So, firstly, we're going to run through our reptile room and aviary room. So as you can see here, we've got a big tank here to the left, which has got our terrapins. There is Snapper, one of our red-eared terrapins, and Pablo floating down at the bottom, and our other red-eared as well. So that tank's 2,500 litres, which is a fantastic setup for those types of animals. And then we'll soon see little Drogon down the bottom, just chilling, had his dinner, so quite happy. Then up the top, you will see one of our 3 snakes. So that's Snizzle in there. She is our albino corn. As well as her, we have got a royal python called Roy and a hognose snake called Arthur as well. We try and get as much of a variety of animals in the department as we can. Up here, you'll see Loki, our little crested gecko. So as you can see, each of the enclosures are set up very differently for each animal species to suit their own requirements. There's Marley, one of our blue-tongued skinks, just poking a little head out. And then Darwin, one of our other skinks up here as well. Again, all these animals are really good handling. It allows you to get hands-on with the animals and understand more about the requirements, which is transferable skills for even bigger animals. And then there we've got Sophie, our little leopard gecko, who everyone loves because she's so cute. Across on this side, we've got our tortoise tables. So you'll see Speedy over there. We've got 3 tortoises, 2 Horsfield and a Hermann's. This is one of our Hermann's tortoises. Again, slightly different handle, and we'll look at their requirements and setup. And as you can see, we've got some enrichment in those enclosures. Next, we've got snails just in there. Again, looking at invertebrate care. Then we start our amphibians over this side. So we've got our African clawed frogs that you'll just be able to see underneath hiding in there. Then we have in the misting enclosure one of our new tree frogs. Again, as part of the NC course in particular, there is a module relating to amphibians. So we need to look at different types of amphibians and how their care requirements change between each ones. So currently we've got our clawed frogs I've just shown you, our tree frogs here, and we've also got a horned frog. So they all have very different requirements, and as a student you've got to look at the requirements, how we can mimic a natural environment and the natural conditions that each of the animals have. So there's little Felix there. Then in here we've got one of our fish tanks. Again, recently our fish tanks have been moved into our big demonstration room, which isn't featured in this video, but we have a large community and goldfish tank as well. This is our live bearer, so we breed some fish in this tank. So we've got the bigger tanks, which are a lot easier for practical units. So this one's still in the reptile room just now. And then lastly up here, this is our horned frog. So again, you can't see him, he's buried down. He's a lot bigger than everyone thinks, but that just kind of puts in perspective. That's you seeing 3 different frog enclosures, all have very different requirements. In here, we've got our aviary. So in the aviary, we have our hamsters, first of all. So in these units here, we've got 1 hamster at the top, 1 hamster at the bottom. So as you can see, it's a lot of space. We try and give our animals maximum amount of space as we can in the department. It also allows students to put in lots of enrichment and things. So as you can see, there's plenty of those enclosures for our hamsters to play with. Then this is our main aviary. So it's mainly Australian species we've got in here. So we've got some cockatiels, some diamond doves that you can see there. That's a wee Aurora at the top. We bred her this year. So occasionally we will breed animals in the department. Majority of animals, however, are rescues. So even today we've just picked up 2 new guinea pigs, which are rescues. Also in here we've got our rabbits. So you'll see we've got individual cages in these units just now. This is not normal. This is just temporarily because we're in the process of bonding our rabbits together. So again, rabbits are very social creatures. So we're trying to pair up our resident rabbits because unfortunately they lost their partners within a couple of months of each other back at the start of the year. So we're in the process of bonding just now. So hopefully the rabbits will be running as pairs within the next couple of weeks together. So in there we've got little Jasper and Penny hiding away in the back. And then in this one we've got Luna, who's getting paired with Axel. You'll see little Axel just sitting in his cage at the back. So this is just set up just now because we're in the process of bonding them together, which is really good. Again, like for rabbits and our guinea pigs, they get outdoor access in the better weather as well, which is really good. I will now just flow on to our small furry room. We do also have a kennel block as well. There's no video of that in this, just so we're not stressing out the dogs and they're barking, but we do have 8 kennels. And students will get access to them for dog training modules like Stephen mentioned, but also for basic kennel duties, because again a lot of students come wanting to go and work in a kennel rescue type environment. So in here we've got our small furries. So this is our mouse house. So as you can see, it's a nice big size, lots of enrichment. So in this unit is just domestic mice. So we've got 6 in that unit altogether that get on. Oh, sorry about that. So that is our mouse house. Let me just go back to full screen. Then over here, we've got our degus. So we've only got 2 degus at the minute. So this is Merida, one of our residents who loves coming for treats. Again, she's really good for students to handle. And we try and get a variety of different small animals in this room. In this enclosure here, we've got rats. Then in this side, we've got some gerbils, Mongolian gerbils. Up the top, we have our zebra mice, as well as Jerry, who's another one of our domestic mice down at the bottom. Again, all the animals were hiding when I took this video, so you won't be able to see some of them. We've also got a Wagner gerbil. So everyone looks at Mongolian gerbils and goes, oh, that's a gerbil. But there's lots of different types of gerbil. So our Wagner gerbils are really good to kind of compare different requirements again, because they are from different locations. And just think about how their care varies slightly. But also down the bottom there, we've got multi-mammoths and some Russian hamsters as well. And then this is our outdoor guinea pig enclosure. So we're currently got a group of 10 guinea pigs. The area on the right-hand side is a temporary holding enclosure, just because we're trying to bond the whole group together. So we try and keep the animals in as much social groups as we can, where applicable for each species, just because it's the best welfare requirements for them. Also, in your animal care duties, you will have access to the farm, the yard, as Stephen said, for the horses, and also in HND, we are in the wildlife hospital as well, which is also a really good asset for students to be able to utilise and go and get some hands-on practical experience in a fully functioning wildlife rehabilitation centre, which also links to a variety of modules. So as you can see, we've got a big variety of animals that we try and utilise. We're currently in the process of redeveloping the department. So the animals we've got now, we will hopefully be progressing, getting more different types of species as time goes on. So by the time you guys want to start in September, hopefully, some of the department will look very different. But yeah, that's your virtual animal care tour. I'll hand back to Stephen and we'll have a little look if we've got any questions on the question and answer. And we'll go through them for you and just see if any of your queries that we can answer.
Yep, thank you. Yeah, there's a few questions. First one that came in, it says, when can I apply?
I'm assuming that applications are open now. So I don't see any reason why they can't apply now. Is that right? I don't know when the college application window opens.
Yep, applications are open.
Yeah, that's fine. Then they can apply now. If it's for HNC, HND, then it might be at the end of November for UCAS applications. I think UCAS has a window.
Yeah, UCAS application closes the first round end of January.
Closes in January, but does it not? It might.
But then it opens again. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think essentially you can apply right up to the course starting as long as there's space on the course. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll go through clearing.
Another question here, which I feel like it's been answered very well already. What sort of animals do we work with in animal care?
Well, it's largely the small animals, but it does depend on which course a student is studying. So on the HNC, it'll really primarily be the small animals that Ewan has just shown in the animal care unit. But if you're on the HND or the NC, you will have access to large animals, and on the HND, you'll also have access to wild animals as well in the hospital next door. So it does vary, but it does depend which course you're doing.
Yep, brilliant. What information do I need to supply in support of my application? Sorry,
could you repeat that?
Yep. What information do I need to supply in support of my application?
So are we talking about a personal statement? So you really need to talk about some of the experiences that you've had maybe with animals. Explain to us what your aspirations are, what kind of career you're thinking of, what's motivating you to study animal care. Where does that passion for animals come from? And of course, we need to know about your qualifications. So all of that information would be really, really useful.
Brilliant. You've sort of answered the next question, which was, do I need to supply a personal statement with my application?
Absolutely, yes. Yep.
Yeah, brilliant. What proof do I need to supply from school in order to get academic support?
I would imagine if you've had an assessment at school, then any assessment paperwork that the school can provide. So if you can provide as much information as possible, then that would be really helpful. But I think if you've got any specific questions regarding academic support, then they probably need to, we can direct those to the student support team at SRUC.
Mm-hmm. Great.
But any evidence that the school has provided, then we'll need that.
Thanks. This looks to be the last question, and it is from Holly. She asks, are the requirements, I think that's as in entry requirements, the same for each campus?
Well, we offer this, although we don't necessarily offer all of the same qualifications, the NC and HNC and HND that I spoke about, we do offer all of those at all of the other campuses, and it because they're the same qualifications, then yes, the entry requirements are the same. So it doesn't matter whether you're looking at Oak Ridge or Barony. If it's the same qualification, then it's the same entry requirements.
Yeah, and that appears to be the final question.
Okay. Okay, well, if there aren't any more questions, and I don't think I can see any questions coming through, then I would just like to thank everybody for attending and listening in. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. I hope that we have answered your questions, but please, if you do think of any other questions after the event tonight, then you can always contact SRUC. In fact, I think there's a question just come through now about, is there accommodation at the campus? There is accommodation at Barony, and it's usually quite popular, so I would definitely make inquiries about that as early as possible if that's something that you're interested in. But the answer to that question is yes, there is accommodation on site. Okay, so if there's no further questions, like I say, thank you very much for giving up your time to come along this evening. I hope you found it useful. But if you do think of any other questions in the meantime, then you can always contact us, and we'll do our best to answer them or get back to you. Okay.